Oh yes, Kim Min's back, and welcome to Survival Specialist.
I told him I can be a fighter if you want. I'll be there to catch you if you fall. I can make it brighter when it's dark, I told him I would do it all for you, and I know you do it for me too. I can be a fighter if you want.
Hi guys, and welcome to a brand new series on the channel, Survival Specialist. Do not worry, all will be explained momentarily. Of course, if you are looking forward to this save, drop a like on the video. That would help out the channel tremendously. First thing I want to note is that it is, as you can see, January 1st, 2038. We are 17/18 years into the future as we begin this save. Now, if you may be just joining this in the first series of mine you've watched, or you maybe skipped the last one or whatever, don't worry, I can catch you up right now. Previous reading is not required. So essentially, in our last save, Outcast to Icons, we started with no coaching badges and had every single league in Europe turned on. We decided to work our way up from the very bottom of European football. We started in North Macedonia with a club called Veleshta, with an aim to win the Champions League with a team that had never even been in the final of any European competition whatsoever. We kept a spreadsheet. That's how much we were serious about that. In addition, clubs making finals during the save as well also excluded themselves from our management, if you like. And we had quite the journey. As I said, starting in Veleshta, we then made our way over to Cyprus with Ermis Iradipu. We then found ourselves over in Hungary, getting Szeged promoted to the top flight and then qualifying for Europe with them, I believe, the following season. We had a failed stint at Osasuna over in Spain. Less said about that, the better. Did a little stint over at Dinamo Zagreb to refresh ourselves. Won a couple of league titles, had some terrible Europa League draws. And then finally found ourselves at Sassuolo in Italy, where we remained for the last 7 years of our career, turning them from a mid-table side into a Champions League force, finally winning the Champions League 1-0 over Real Madrid in the 69th minute. Nice. And it was all lovely and good. A Coppa Italia, no, I think 2 Coppa Italias in there, as well as 2 Serie A league titles to go with it. So it certainly turned around in form. And that's where we find ourselves today. Now, the reason I'm on the right-hand side is so that you can just see the sheer number of languages that our manager, Kim Min, actually manages to speak, which is quite a lot. So that should just about catch you up. Now, the question is, what are we doing now? So with there being a relatively small amount of time between here and the actual beginning of FM22, expecting the beta sometime late October, it didn't feel that we could really start a pure long-term save from scratch. However, I felt this would be quite a fun idea. So, we are continuing the coaching journey of Kim Min, but with brand new objectives and a brand new save style, picking up from exactly where we left off. Now, the objective for this save, as it is Survival Specialist, we have to save a team from relegation, starting by looking for a job in January, for each of the 5 major leagues in Europe. So in this case, currently anyway, it's the Premier League, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, Ligue A, and Serie A, of course. Which is why, of course, I resigned my post at Sassuolo. We have simmed to January 1st, 2038 rather, and we're going to be looking for a job in one of those leagues with a relegation-threatened side. If we are able to keep them up, we tick them off the list and move on to one of the others. If we fail, then we must move on again and try to basically find another club that we're able to manage in January. So there's going to be a lot of clubs, but I think it's going to be a cool little tour of Europe, getting to try out some new teams, new locations, teams I've never managed before, leagues we've not managed for in this save particularly, and I think that's going to be great fun. Some interesting stories there along the way, particularly as we've gone from managing a team that is essentially incredibly overpowered, winning the Champions League, to teams that are now going to be struggling against relegation. Can Kim Min and his incredibly aggressive passing style of play be effective for sides in the relegation zone? Can we pull it out, or will Kim Min be an absolute just failure? I mean, will it be Osasuna all over again? That's what we hope to find out during the course of this save. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, join me along the ride, and well, today we're going to be hopefully getting our first job of the save. But since there was no doubt going to be a few questions about who replaced us at Sassuolo, how they did, etc., as you can see, Agishi Melikayan is actually the guy that replaced us. He was the Krasnodar manager. Very interesting choice of manager that they come in. He actually starts in real life as the, I believe, Punic manager over in... Wait, is that Armenia? It is Armenia. Okay. Was Russian national team manager Zenit boss, then Krasnodar, and now replaced us at Sassuolo. He's a good manager, to be fair. And another incredible news, they actually only sold one of our players. One of our players has left, and it's Ramon Uriarte. That's impressive. Normally the AI goes mad when you leave a club. So there you go. Thought I'd catch you up on that. Obviously, we'll talk more about that sort of stuff, and they're looking forward many weeks from now. So, there's actually only 3 jobs. Obviously, there's loads of jobs in Europe still available, because I do still have all the other leagues turned on for context and whatnot. But these are the 3 current jobs available. So actually... Oh yeah, I didn't realize you could see the positions of the clubs on this page. None of them are actually in the... Oh no, they are. They are in the... Because Bundesliga's got 18 teams, isn't it? So, Ousmane Dembele. Okay. Well, I mean, that should tell you all you need to know about the fact that we're in January 2038, aren't we, right now? So the job's available. FC Lorient in Ligue 1, Uber Eats, obviously, but they are not currently in the relegation zone. So that's Toby Yates. He played for Southampton. There's also Wolfsburg, who are 13th in the Bundesliga, but again, not particularly clear. Or they're actually pretty clear of the relegation zone. But then there's also Heidenheim. Now, I know there's a relegation playoff, but that's still the relegation zone. So technically, they are 3 points off relegation safety halfway through the season. Worse goal difference than everybody else. Only Greuther Fürth are worse off than them. I don't know how their job's not come up at some point. I take it they've maybe got a new manager or something? Nope, they just don't seem to care. I guess you will find that with a few of these sort of jobs, that with a club like Greuther Fürth, maybe they just don't expect to stay up, and as a result, they're less likely to sack their manager. But Heidenheim, apparently that's something that looks like a good option for us right now. So let's just check out the other leagues as well, the major leagues, just to see who else is in trouble, because those jobs could potentially come up regardless. We're obviously going to apply for the Heidenheim job, but we can delay if we were to even get offered the job. I mean, I'd like to think that being a Champions League winner as recently as 6 months ago, they'd probably be like, yeah, we'll give them a try. So in the Premier League, Norwich, this is the thing, Premier League is actually quite perfect right now. Now, currently, the Championship and League One, not that League One's that relevant, aren't actually switched on, but they will be next season, so they should be fine to generate a bit more flavour with the clubs coming up and down. Sheffield Wednesday, I mean, they are 13 points from safety and have won 1 game in 21. They're currently managed by Arnaud Danjuma, obviously of Bournemouth fame. Apparently, they have no signs of sacking him, it would seem, so that's interesting. Maybe they just didn't expect to stay up, I guess. Bottom of the league, but there you go. I mean, they've really just been languishing for the most part. But then, bam, second last season, auto promotion, boom, Premier League, boom, 6 points. Oh, Derby County must be sweating in their boots right now, who also have 11 points, conveniently. Currently being managed by Alex Neil, so as far as I know, that's not a managerial change either, no, but he could be under pressure potentially too. In La Liga, Almeria very, very tight. See, I wouldn't have probably wanted to take that job if it was there because it is so unbelievably tight. Leganes, though, a few more points behind, and look at that goal difference. Hot damn. Obviously, this league is done on head-to-head, but still, something's not going right there. And obviously, Celta Vigo, very, very poor. Down in League, obviously, we've got Nîmes Olympique, Auxerre, and obviously Angers, very, very bottom. Just the one win in 20 for them as well. Incredible. Ah, damn it. They sacked their manager too early. I must admit, that would be an absolute mission. Like, congratulations, you now need title-winning form to stay up. Doesn't mean I wouldn't have taken it, though. So, in, well, as you can see, Serie A, Sassuolo's still doing well, our former side. Janderson, top scorer in the league. Overmars gets 38 goals last season, and the new manager's just like, I just don't rate him, boss. Isn't that always the way? So down at the bottom, though, there's Crotone, Empoli, and Cremonese. Now, I'd like to avoid Italy for the first one, just because we obviously have just come from Italy, even though it was technically the previous save. So I'd like to think that we'd start outside of that, particularly as the only job available right now is, obviously, the Heidenheim one. But what about job security? So none of those clubs that I was actually just previously mentioning are in a great deal of trouble when it comes to their managers, as you can see. There's a few insecure jobs, but they're not with clubs that are actually in the relegation zone right now, or even that close to it. Cagliari with Simone Zaza are looking precarious, apparently, but they are nevertheless outside of the relegation. That might change, though. We've got to think about that. Arnaud Danjuma is apparently completely stable at Sheffield Wednesday. They're just like, hey, you know what? We're happy in the Championship. We got our parachute payments. It's all good. That could change if they don't win any more games, though. So, I suspect our best bet right now is probably to apply for the job at Heidenheim. Now, should Lorient start to drop a little bit more, maybe we'll have to consider it. So we'll have to keep an eye on the leagues, but I think our best bet right now is to apply for the Heidenheim job and see what else comes up in the meantime. Let's face it, German clubs have been notoriously slow at getting back to me in this save. For all I know, we could have had the Hoffenheim job before the Sassuolo job, because it was those two on the line, and then they just never got back to me, so I was just like, you know what, Sassuolo it is. You know, in the end, they actually gave the job to Frank Lampard, and he was sacked after 6 months getting them relegated. So, you know, what you could have had, Hoffenheim? They're back now, but still. I think they got relegated. Yep, yeah, there it was. That's the season. In fact, they actually got worse that year under Frank Lampard. Oh, to be fair, he did last just over a year before being sacked, and then went to Bristol City and Hamilton. It's not gone well, has it, Frank? Particularly as Hamilton aren't even in the top flight. So it seems like Ousmane Dembele, who's the current Standard Liège manager and has now been for 4 years, is the favourite for the job. How's he been doing with Standard Liège in the recent memory? 3 consecutive... I realise they're one of the biggest sides in Belgium, but, like, that's pretty impressive, to be fair. 3 league titles in a row. We may have a bit of trouble getting that job if old Ousmane Dembele's got anything to say about it. Right, let's declare interest in job as well. Since we've not got a job, we may as well. A lower profile job. How dare you insult the wonderful Heidenheim? I'm all about the potential. That and I intend to be there for probably 6 months. One of the other things I'm quite looking at, I'm just literally sitting in the background at the moment, just trying to get to some more days. That's how slow it can be in January because of all the leagues and stuff. But one of the things I'm most looking forward to out of this save is actually being able to focus a bit more on league stuff again and a survival battle. because it's not something I really very often get to do on most of my saves, because often the skill gaps when you're promoting teams up through the leagues can be a bit, you can jump up quite quickly. I like this idea of being able to rescue someone. It might be a little bit different for us, and we'll be able to focus a few more and give it a bit more focus on some of the league games with a few less off-camera matches, because obviously the seasons will be a lot shorter given that we're essentially doing half a year. So I think we're going to get to see a lot of clubs, a lot more games, and just a lot more fun in general, and a lot more tension too, which I think is actually going to make this really fun. Okay, so there have been some more sackings around the leagues. I don't think they're actually in the relegation zone, but you can see that Betis and Benevento both sacking managers. Yeah, neither of them are completely down there. You've resigned once again. Can you please explain why you keep doing so? No, I don't owe you anything, Kevin. Pipe down. Also, you have my name in your website, sir. Please return it. Lorient have hired Champion as manager. I mean, I like your attitude on that one, if I'm honest. That's the way to go. You can't go wrong with Dickie Champion. So we are now considered the leading candidate for the Heidenheim job. Still haven't heard from them. Pick up the damn phone, boys. Now, their next game isn't until the 16th of January, meaning that, in theory, they can't get any worse, potentially. So there is a chance that we could, I mean, this is the thing, some of these clubs could continue to lose ground if they don't hire us, but the only one that's really even in the grounds for hiring us right now is Heidenheim, as we are now considered the leading candidate, which is good. Now, obviously, from year to year and season to season in this save, it will certainly vary on when we actually get ourselves a job, on account of the fact that we were very fortunate, actually, that there was directly a job that we could potentially go for that fit the requirements on the first day of January. There's no way that's going to happen every year. So Benevento have already hired Stefan Iversen as a new manager. We've still not heard back from Heidenheim. I guess are they just on their holidays? It must be that, right? Well, hey, here we go, finally. After 10 days? I think it's because winter break, probably, for Germany. But is there no one in the club office? Like, not one person there? They just turned the lights out when they left on the final day of winter, and now they're back. Right, okay, attend interview, let's do it. Get down to business, shall we, with Rico Rudolph. Great name. Reservations that we've never managed in the country, that's fine, we can do it. We just take a drop down the club to our level. If anything, you should be explaining to me why I should manage you, Rico. Not the other way around. Media handling has been mediocre. We can sort that. Hopefully, with these promises, we should be fine. Unless we end up in an Osasuna situation again. Right candidate for fighting relegation. We are a strong motivator, to be fair. Yeah, I don't want to propose any budgets because there's no Yuri Krot in this save, sadly. Sign players based in Germany. Lower? Okay, well, I mean, you're thinking a bit ahead there, Rico Rudolph, but I don't blame you fairly. High tempo pressing football. That's kind of what we do, actually, in fairness, so that's quite useful. Fight bravely against relegation. Third round of the DFL Pokal. They're actually still in it, which is quite impressive. Really, that's really not going to be a thing, is it? But this one, we can definitely do, or try to anyway. I don't know what we'd actually be able to do with that transfer budget, and what this actually means in the grand scheme of things, given we don't know how much their actual wages are. For all we know, they're overspending it by 300 grand. Okay. That seems to go reasonably well. Only other job knocking about right now is still Real Betis. So, at the moment, Heidenheim is looking like a good option for us. Cool club. Lovely stadium, already play a fairly similar system to the one we've been using anyway, and honestly, my guess is one of these guys would probably be pretty comfortable up here, and he would probably be a nice ball-winning midfielder if we were to take this job. Let's just have a little look at Bernard Amawako. Right only, which is... Oh, he actually can... Okay. 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 It's now the 15th of January. I'm a bit concerned. I was kind of hoping that if they were going to offer us the job, they'd do it soon, because their next two games are Stuttgart away, and then Karlsruhe at home. Those are two really winnable games that I'd quite like to be in charge of, because I feel like in those kind of games, implanting a bit of Kim Min-ball could be very, very useful. Because I just saw their run of games after that. Just casual Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen, Gladbach, Leipzig, Bayern. Baptism of fire, anybody? What about Eintracht Frankfurt? Even they're a top 8 side. There we go. Good God. Albeit the Hertha one is in the DFB Pokal, but still, please, if you're going to offer me the job, let me take over here, so we have at least got the chance of getting some points on the board in these games, potentially, because it's going to be a massive fight on the hands, other than that, straight afterwards, particularly with Kim Min-ball. I suppose there is the sort of risk that they could maybe, under the caretaker, go to Stuttgart and get us some points to give us a better starting point, but I worry that they'll lose there and then it'll get even worse for us, but I suppose that's part of the fun of the challenge, isn't it, eh? Ooh, okay, are you for real? They're appointing me on the day of the game. It's 9:15. Hang on, sorry. It's 9:15 in the morning on Saturday, 16th of January, 2038. Our match kicks off in 5.5 hours, and they're like, Oh, just shove in a new manager now. I don't see anything wrong with that. No, nothing about like, oh, maybe we should appoint him a bit earlier, give him a week to sort of train with the squad, set up tactics. If this was real life, like, I'd be sat in the stands in a suit watching this game, watching us go down to a 3-1 defeat at Stuttgart, going, okay, fine. But no, this is okay. And the other thing, really, is the only other insecure jobs on the cards right now, Brescia in Serie A, but they're 14th. West Brom in the Premier League, but again, they're not in the relegation zone currently, and still somehow Cagliari. Incredibly, but I guess they maybe not played any more games. How are West Brom doing? I mean, they're 2 points outside of the relegation zone currently, and there's no guarantee that they'd sack the manager. And if I'm going to take over at a club, it kind of needs to be now. If it's going to be Heidenheim, it has to be right now. 6 million transfer budget, 800k wage budget. I have no idea what that means in the grand scheme of things, because that could be bad or good depending on the finances. Let's go. I think we have to do this. I don't think they'll accept a 1-year deal, will they? No, they want 2 years. Not that it matters, because I could just resign, which we'll obviously have to anyway. As far as I can tell, resigning doesn't seem to have a negative impact on you anymore, other than the media go apeshit about it. But other than that, so I think it's going to be Heidenheim, friends. Now, normally what I'd do in these job hunt videos for Outcast to Icons was we'd do all the looking around the club in the next video. We're going to be doing that today because I feel like it's fun to do that. We're playing games in the next video, of course, but I want to show you around the club today because why the hell not, eh? Exit talks. I think we're in, friends. Haha, Heidenheim, hire Kim Min. Oh my goodness, from Sassuolo to Heidenheim. Last season 17th. How does that work? That can't be right, surely? Oh, current season. Wait, what? How did they come 17th last season? There's only 18 teams. What? We'll have to have a look at that in a minute. Lovely kits too. Okay, we're in. So first things first, they came 15th. I think that menu was confused and it was putting our current league position in there. That's, I assume, what's happening there. It's also our predicted position. So we're right on cue as things go. Okay, so here's the situation. We literally have 5.5 hours to prepare for our first league game, which is away at Stuttgart. I'm hoping I did this interview, like, that agreement in Stuttgart, because we still got to travel there. I'll be honest, I'm not super clued up on German geography. That could be right next door. I don't think it is, but we'll figure it out. Players in last year of contracts, okay. That actually is not, for once, a big deal for me, although I will still... Oh, youth intake preview. Oh, of course, yeah. A golden generation? No way. Hang on, what's their facilities like? Superb. Average. Good. Huh. Oh, building a new stadium. They're going to move into the 25,000 capacity Lillian Egloff Park. Heidenheim fans, I assume he is of extreme relevance to the club. He's a club legend, so there is that. So, welcome to Heidenheim, friends. I guess the first thing to do would be to take a look at the squad. Just going to load in Kim Minball for now. Don't know how we're going to be able to fit this in, but the whole point of this for me was to be able to come in with a dogmatic strategy and see if we can make this work at other clubs that aren't Sassuolo. I forgot to meet the press. I snubbed the press. First bad decision straight off the bat there. Get sacked on the same day. So, firstly, is anyone... Oh my god. So, essentially, for the most part, a lot of players are underperforming their XG dramatically, which is hopefully something we can fix fairly simply. I mean, look at this. Like, Januszka here and Sidorenko. They should have 2 or 3 goals each. Easy. Mistal, same kind of story, really. There's quite a lot of older players in this squad as well, but we'll see what they've got in terms of ability. So the best player in the team is Sandro Schurter, who I'm almost certain I tried to sign once in the previous part of this save from Basel. £4.3 million he's cost them. He's an advanced player. I tell you what, he's not bad. Look at the composure. Well, yes, thank you, Sandro. He's going to fill that Steph Cassell's role very, very nicely. And he's a Lichtsteiner. Doesn't like big matches. Classic. But that makes me happy. Please tell me there's a good striker. So we've got Berke Kaza as well. Oh, he's a Mez. Oh, he's a Mez. And he's a bloody good Mez as well. This is good news. We use a Mez and a ball-winning midfielder in our standard central midfield roles. So he's decent. Also doesn't like big matches. It's the perfect club for me. Wimps, the lot of them. They've also got... oh, here we go. This is Bernard Amoako. Oh, he can play central midfield. Yeah. As much as he's right only, I still think that him being in the central midfield alongside that, and he's only 20... Came through at Gladbach, who's on loan from. He's a bloody good player. Doesn't just like big matches. It's the Gladbach energy. Please tell me they have a striker. Sebastian Dreyer, who... Okay, interesting. He's a right back, really, but could definitely do a job there. He reminds me a bit of Milivojev, actually. If he was... he likes... Hey, there you go. Lovely old job. He's actually our player as well. Nice. Good, solid right back. So we've also got Valentin Schreckinger, who actually could do a job as the ball-winning midfielder in here as well. He's a decent player. 6 foot tall. He's actually kind of a bit of everything. He's very Milivojev-esque. What on earth? Lovely mentals. Left-footed. Finishing's not great, really. Neither is his composure, but he's decent. Could play on the right. He's left-footed, though, and I don't really want to play... doesn't like big matches. Classic. Goalkeeper is Armando Cunha, 33-year-old German, came through at Porto, actually. But he is German, although he may have, no, he can't have, he could have done, actually. Was he born in... Yes, he was born in Caldas de Tapas, so there you go. I think he might have declared for Germany, potentially. But needless to say, incredible aerial reach. That's outrageous. Good reflex. He's a decent keeper. There's also Sidorenko, who has a surprisingly high XG, actually, considering he's playing very deep. But maybe he hasn't been playing there. Liridon Tachi as well, a left-back. He's not amazing, but he's got some nice mentals for a 21-year-old. No real high-potential players themselves, unless they've got any of the under-18s, maybe. Yeah, they've got Uma Udeldag. Udeldag? Apologies for the my mispronunciation of the G there. He's a very, very talented young goalkeeper. Only 18 years old, Turkish, came through here. No, wait, came through Rapid Vienna. So he's not actually even our youth prospect. Goodbye, though. The rest of them don't look so great, in fairness, but there's some quality in here. They've also got a guy called Udo Klinsmann, who actually, to be honest with you, lacks a bit of the potential on the high end, but he's not bad. For 18, all in all, looking at this team and the players they've got available, I think there's a team here that is definitely... There's a lot of players that I'm seeing that, although I haven't seen an inside forward yet, that could do a job enough for us to stay up, hopefully. Transfer budget-wise, yeah, we'd have a lot of wages available, so it would really be very minimal in terms of transfers. And we can only rake in another 34k from this deal here, so it's not going to gain us a great deal. But then we'd have to find that signing. Perhaps a loan deal might honestly be more likely something we'd be able to do in the next 14 days if we can find the right player. Depends on what holes we need to fill. Didn't see a lot of centre-backs when I was just looking through the best players in the squad, and I didn't see a lot of left or right wingers as it goes, actually. So who was actually playing on the left and right wing for? Let's look at the actual squad depth here. So, yeah, Mishtal is... okay, you can certainly see where the gaps are, as far as the style we want to play anyway. Although, they do actually have Soren Meyer over on this left-hand side here, and he does suit what I want to do. Lacks a bit of finishing and composure, for sure, but, you know, he at least fits the role. But that's the beauty of coming into these ones. We're not going to have the perfect players. I may have to make some slight tweaks to the tactic. I don't really want to, because I do want to see how we can do with this. But, you know, if we're noticing that a player is just not going to work in that role, then we can change stuff. But we don't have a lot of time for that. That's the beauty of this save. Centre-backs-wise, there's Alexander Puzovic, a giant Serbian centre-back. If this isn't my team, I don't know what is. He's not training well, though. Who's he wanted by? Okay, interesting. Wants to go out on loan for playing time. Sir, you're going to be getting, I would say, a fair amount of playing time. Then there's also Januszka. Oh my giddy aunt. Look at him. Stefan Januszka. Oh, the ball-playing defender. Doesn't like big matches, of course. Needless to say, I do feel like a loan signing or maybe another signing or two, we could still manage to get those in by the end of the transfer window and build this squad up. But it certainly isn't going to be for the next game because it's in 5 hours. So join me tomorrow as we take on Stuttgart, and obviously we'll do Karlsruhe as well. We'll do a double live comment in that episode and we'll start moving into some more stuff after that. It won't all be just like that, but I do want to focus on a little bit more of the league games, obviously, because there's no other stuff to really focus on. So we have a hell of a task ahead of us. Kim Min is at the club. He's at Heidenheim. He has a massive task ahead trying to keep these guys in the top flight of Germany. Have they actually managed to stay in the top flight before? Yeah, actually, to be fair, they've been there for a few seasons now. So they're clearly capable of staying up. And that's what we really need to do. If we get them in the relegation playoffs and win that or something, that would be fine. Honestly, that would count. So, if you're looking forward to the rest of this series, of course, drop a like on the video. That would be tremendous. If you're new to the channel and you're looking forward to this, I suppose, and you want to keep track, then hey, subscribe as well. I stream on Twitch as well, over on Twitch, obviously, because that's the website. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturday, we're doing a save in Africa currently with Generation on foot in Senegal. It's going pretty damn well, so join me for that as well. And I'll join you guys tomorrow for Stuttgart and Karlsruhe, a baptism of fire here. This is going to be incredibly fun. So I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.
I can be a fighter.